The alien's fist connected with a sickening crack. The crowd gasped. She hit the ground hard. And then everything went silent except for one voice. You touch my wife. The Meridian Trade Hub was supposed to be neutral ground. A glittering station where 100 species mingled, negotiated, and pretended that old prejudices didn't exist. Dr. Elena Reyes had been coming here for 3 years ever since she'd married Marcus and moved to the frontier. She was known for her patience, her kindness, and her ability to navigate the complex social hierarchies of interspecies relations. The Korthax who'd been harassing the vendor hadn't noticed her at first. 7 feet tall, covered in chitinous plates that clicked when he moved, Ambassador Vrex was everything wrong with Korthaxian nobility, entitled, loud, and convinced that his species' physical superiority meant he could take whatever he wanted. This price is insulting. Vrex had slammed his 4-fingered hand on the vendor's stall, sending Altarian crystal figurines scattering. The elderly vendor, a fragile septid with gossamer wings, cowered. That's when Elena stepped in. Ambassador, perhaps we could discuss this more civilly. Vrex's compound eyes swiveled toward her, taking in her small frame, her soft human features. His mandibles clicked in amusement. A human female dares to lecture me? I'm suggesting dialogue over destruction, Elena said calmly, already bending to collect the scattered figurines. The vendor's prices are set by station regulations. If you have a complaint, I don't take suggestions from prey species. Vrex loomed over her, his shadow falling across Elena like a shroud. Around them, the crowd began to back away. They recognized the signs, a Korthax asserting dominance. It rarely ended well. Elena straightened, keeping her voice steady despite her racing heart. I'm not prey, Ambassador. I'm a xenobiologist with the Colonial Extension Service. And you're frightening. The backhand came without warning. Vrex's armored hand caught Elena across the face, the force lifting her off her feet. She crashed into a display of Nexary spices, blood streaming from her nose, her vision swimming with stars. The marketplace fell into absolute silence. Even the air recyclers seemed to pause. Weak, Vrex announced to the frozen crowd. This is why humans will never. You touch my wife. The voice came from behind Vrex, quiet enough that he had to strain to hear it, cold enough to drop the station's temperature by several degrees. The crowd parted like water, revealing a human male in the simple gray coveralls of a maintenance worker. Marcus Reyes stood just under 6 feet, unremarkable by most species standards. His dark hair was peppered with premature gray, his hands scarred from a lifetime of work. He looked like what he claimed to be, a systems engineer who kept the station's life support running. He looked harmless. Vrex's mandibles spread in what passed for a Korthaxian smile. Another human? Good. You can carry your female back to whatever hole you crawled from. Marcus walked forward, each step measured, deliberate. He knelt beside Elena, his calloused fingers impossibly gentle as he touched her face, checked her injuries. Hey, baby, you okay? I'm fine, Elena whispered, though blood still dripped from her nose. Marcus, don't. Shoo. He helped her sit up against the wall, pulled off his outer shirt, and pressed it to her nose. Just rest a minute. Then he stood and turned to face Vrex. You're her mate. Vrex's tone dripped condescension. How fitting. Weak seeking weak. Tell me, human, what will you do? File a complaint? Cry to station security. Marcus began rolling up his sleeves, revealing arms corded with lean muscle and decorated with scars that told stories most couldn't read. You know what's funny about Earth, Ambassador? I have no interest in your backwater planet. See, that's the thing. Marcus's voice remained conversational, almost friendly. Everyone knows about our wars, our predators, our disasters. But they forget the important part. Which is, we survived them. Marcus finished with his sleeves. Every single one. The crowd had grown now, dozens of species forming a circle. Some had started recording. They could sense what others had missed, the way Marcus moved, the perfect balance, the way his eyes never left Vrex's center mass. You think I'm like the rest of you soft-shelled diplomats? Marcus asked. I'm from Earth. And you just made a mistake. Vrex laughed, a harsh chittering sound. You threaten me? I am Korthaxian nobility. My exoskeleton can deflect projectile weapons. My strength. I'm not threatening you. Marcus interrupted. I'm educating you. See, on Earth we protect our own. With words if we can. With war if we must. Then you'll die with words on your lips, ape. Marcus tilted his head. One chance, Ambassador. Apologize to my wife. Pay for her medical costs. Leave. And I'll pretend this never happened. Or what? Or I remind everyone here why my species is classified as Category 12 Deathworlders. Vrex lunged, his forearms spread wide, mandibles open to bite. He was fast for his size, trained in 6 martial arts, and had never lost a physical confrontation. Marcus moved faster. He slipped inside Vrex's reach, his fist driving up into the soft joints where the ambassador's chest plates met. The crack of breaking chitin echoed through the marketplace. Before Vrex could scream, Marcus grabbed one of his primary arms, pivoted, and used the alien's own momentum to flip him onto his back. The impact shattered the reinforced flooring. Vrex tried to rise, but Marcus was already moving. A knee to the secondary elbow joint, bending it the wrong way. A palm strike to the visual cluster, sending compound eyes rolling. His movements were economical, precise, learned in places where efficiency meant survival. Lesson 1, Marcus said calmly, breaking another arm with a sound like snapping timber. Humans don't posture. When we fight to end things. Vrex gurgled something through his broken mandibles. Lesson 2. Marcus grabbed the alien's throat, found the pressure points between armored plates. We're persistence hunters. We don't stop when you're beaten. We stop when we decide you've learned. The crowd watched in horrified fascination as Marcus systematically dismantled a being twice his weight. No wasted motion, no anger in his movements. Just cold, calculated violence delivered with the precision of a surgeon. When he finally stopped, Vrex lay in a spreading pool of his own ichor, 3 arms broken, exoskeleton cracked in a dozen places. Alive, but barely. Marcus stood, not even breathing hard. He pulled out a handkerchief and wiped the alien blood from his hands. That wasn't a fight. That was a warning. Station security had arrived, their weapons drawn but not aimed. The captain, a 4-eyed Altarian, looked between Marcus and the broken ambassador. He struck my wife, Marcus said simply. I responded within Statute 7 of the Frontier Defense Code. Check your recordings. The captain's eyes darted to Elena, saw the blood, the already swelling bruise. He'd seen the videos already spreading through the station's network. No charges will be filed. Ambassador Vrex will be held responsible for medical costs and damages. Marcus nodded once, then walked back to Elena. The crowd parted again, but differently this time. With respect. With fear. He knelt beside his wife, and suddenly he was just a man again, all that lethal capability hidden beneath gentleness. Hey, tough girl. Let's get you to medical. You didn't have to, Elena started. Yes, I did. He lifted her effortlessly, cradling her against his chest. Earth doesn't raise men. It forges monsters who choose to be human. And today, I chose family. As they left, whispers followed them through the marketplace. Stories that would spread through 100 systems by cycle's end. Did you see how fast, 3 seconds. Maybe 4. They say all humans are like that. No wonder they survived their world. One young septid turned to her clutch mother, wings trembling. Why do they call it a death world? An old Nexari merchant answered, his voice carrying the weight of wisdom. Because everything there tries to kill you. The weather, the animals, the gravity, even other humans. And those who survive. He gestured toward the retreating couple. They become something else. Something that chooses every day not to be the monster their world made them. But he was so violent. No, child. He was restrained. A true human warrior would have killed the Korthax in the first second. That one held back. He sent a message instead. What message? The old merchant looked at the blood still staining the floor, at the security team struggling to move Vrex's broken form. He didn't just defend her. He reminded the galaxy why Earth is feared. In the medical bay, as Elena received treatment, she held her husband's scarred hand. You know this will cause a diplomatic incident. Marcus squeezed gently. Let them come. Anyone who raises a hand to you deals with me. That's not negotiable. My protector, she said softly. Always. He kissed her forehead, careful of her bruises. On Earth we have a saying. What's that? You can take the human off the death world, but you can never take the death world out of the human. He smiled, and it was warm, loving, nothing like the cold thing he'd worn in the marketplace. Some days that's a curse. But when someone hurts what I love, it's a promise. Outside, the story was already spreading, growing with each telling. The human who'd broken a Korthax noble. The deathworlder who'd chosen mercy over murder. And in 100 systems, beings made a mental note, never touch a human's family. Because humans don't just love fiercely. They protect absolutely.